So today we're going to talk about culinary wellness, and the reason I put those two words together, I think probably the greatest missing piece when it comes to the wellness conversation is culinary education. There's so many barriers to eating healthier, and cooking is certainly one of them. The whole goal is to demystify healthy eating and to teach people really the core culinary technique to make you successful. What we're going to talk about today is stretching meals. All right, to make you successful when it comes to healthy eating, it's batch cooking. You make things in batches for the days to follow for service. Like on a Sunday, I'll make a big pot of beans. And those beans will be used in 5 different applications throughout the week. With Longbirds, we're going to do the rice. We're going to do brown rice. So batch cooking is such a key concept to make people successful when it comes to healthy eating. So we're going to use this brown rice in a number of different ways. I'm going to do a quick salad. So what we have is we have some kale. We all love kale. Easiest way to peel them off stem is just like that. Super easy, okay? So I've shaved up some kale. I'm just going to go ahead and mix a little bit of this kale up with a couple ingredients. All right? So we have some rice in there, some kale. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of red onion as well. Okay, a little bit of color, some bell peppers. Also, I'm using it for the sweetness. So when it comes to flavor balancing, the sweet, obviously, is the bell pepper. You can use shredded carrots. You can use cherry tomatoes. We have the acid. I'm going to put a lemon. The fat, I'm going to use a little bit of flax oil. I'm going to toss it with a little toasted seeds, sunflower and hemp. Okay, so avocado, slice around the seed. Twist. Slice in your hand gently, not to go through the skin, and you're done. How about that? Easy, right? I'm just going to go ahead and toss that up. Let's actually add one thing I am missing, a little bit of lemon in there, just for that acidity. So we have a kale rice salad. All right, let's say you have some leftover rice and you're like, you know what? I'm feeling more like a burger. Let's start off with beans and rice. All right, I have some garbanzos left over because I made some meringue, right? These are garbanzo beans I've just crushed in my hand. Some rice. Then you're going to build up from there when it comes to veggies. I have some peppers. I have some cumin spice. Let's go a little Mediterranean. Let's use a little roasted peppers and olives. And I have a little red onion, okay? This recipe is on ruby.com. If I were to mix that all up, it's not going to bind. It's going to crumble. One of the best ways to actually bind a veggie burger is with a starchy vegetable. I like to use potatoes. These are russet potatoes. You can use sweet potatoes. You can use squash. You can use cooked carrots. Any kind of starchy vegetable will work really, really well. So I'm going to add just a little bit, and this is going to be the binder for the veggie burgers. You know when this formula is complete when you can hold it in a ball. Let's go ahead and press that down. From here, you can then put it on, spray a baking sheet, and then you bake these, okay? And then they bake probably about 8 to 12 minutes on both sides. So what's nice about this is you can make a large batch of these. Again, going back to batch cooking, make a large batch of these, slice a little piece of parchment paper, separate them with parchment paper, put them in a Ziploc and freeze them, and you have such a quick meal. You know, throw it in the toaster, you have a veggie burger. You know, and you made it yourself, and you know every single ingredient that's in there because you handled it. I have a white bean puree. I'm going to add my veggie burger. So I'm going to add some grilled onions, a little spice, and you have, of course, some greenage. Sexy little burgers. Using, but of course, Longbirds rice. So what this is, it's basically a meringue that's no egg, which is basically translates to bean water. Like, let's say garbanzo bean water. It has the same chemical structure as egg whites. It has this almost identical amount of starch and protein. So with the applications that you're going to use them in, it will whip up just like egg whites will. So as this is whipping, I have freeze-dried fruit. This is the best way to season this, okay, to really fruitin' it up. This is pineapple, and I've basically just blended it, so I have a pineapple powder. So I'm going to go ahead and add this pineapple powder, and that is almost it. Let's stop that so I can show you the consistency here. If you're making any kind of classic meringue, you're looking for that peak, okay? All right, so I'm going to add this to a coconut rice pudding that you're going to sample. So, easy, quick recipe here, all right? So I have a vanilla bean. Just want to sort of fillet that vanilla bean, slice it down the middle. So as it's cooking, it's going to release all that flavor in the vanilla bean. I have any kind of non-dairy milk. A little bit of this is a canned coconut milk, so it's higher fat. This is a great way to work with leftover grains. So if you're making any kind of like porridge or you love oatmeal in the morning, try a different grain, you know, and mix it up. Cook it in non-dairy milk of your choice. Sweeten it up with your choice of sweetener. I'm going to use a little bit of agave in there. You can do this with anything. You can make, you can use buckwheat, leftover quinoa, millet, anything like that. Hydrates really, really well. Let's fast forward 15 minutes. You have cooked coconut rice, okay? Lots of flavor here. So I'm going to go ahead and add that coconut rice to the bowl. I'm going to use a little dollop of that meringue as well. Let's get fancy. Got a torch. This chars right up and it tastes like amazing toasted marshmallow. Finish it with some candied almonds on the plate and you have one of the most decadent, amazing vegan desserts right there. Okay, so we have coconut rice. Let's move on here.